At the end of the day, there's no magic pills. If you want a change to happen in your life, you've got to make the change happen yourself, because nobody cares enough about you as you do about yourself. Nobody can give you that. Nobody can push you through the necessary, the necessary steps that you need to take. Nobody can stop you from lifting that glass up to your mouth if you're determined to do it or not do it. Going back to what Gandhi said, that if you want to see a change in the world, then you've got to be that change. It's the same thing in your life. If you want to see a change in your life, you've got to be that change. You've got to make that change happen. It's not going to happen by itself. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of thought. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of execution of the plans in order to make them happen. It takes a lot of dealing with ups and downs of not only being successful but being disappointed as well, because life is not going to give you it's not going to, just because you stop drinking alcohol and you've got this one thing out of your life is not going to sail by like a boat full of roses. It ain't going to happen like that. You're on a big roller coaster then, but there's going to be some big ups as well as some downs, and you're more likely in the long term to iron out the ups and downs and be much more contented in the long term. And that's what you're aiming at, an upward trajectory, but much more flatter. You're still going to get some failures in life, that's about life. That's about just the way it is. About it's the product of learning. Failures are just stepping stones to get into the place that you want to be. But look, it's patience and perseverance are the two things. We teach this thing called the 4 Ps, which are perseverance, perspective, patience, and positivity. And perseverance is that drive that pushes you forwards. It's the drive that my dad used to watch this movie years ago when we first got a video recorder. It was one of the things that, I'm not sure whether he bought the movie or it was something he recorded, probably recorded it off the TV, but it was the old movie with John Wayne called True Grit. And that's always been, for me, perseverance, that true grit, that determination to succeed, to overcome any hurdle. If there's an obstacle in your way, you're going to climb over it, you're going to go around it, or you're going to smash through it. And that's just the fact. There's nothing that's going to stand in your way. Perspective is that thing that maintains your focus. So you've got to focus on where you want to be. When you're stopping drinking alcohol, you've got to focus on that, and then you stop, and then you move on to something else. It's not the same thing. Stopping drinking alcohol is that leaving it behind. So you stop drinking alcohol on day one, and then you move on to what you're going to do, where you're going to go, who you want to be. That's your perspective. That's where you're supposed to be laser focused on. And it doesn't mean to say that can't change, because it will. But it means that you have a target that you're aiming towards. I need some water. Perspective is the thing that keeps you on the right track. It's the thing that pushes you really to the limit, because you know where you're going to go, and you've got this idea in your head about where you want to go. And that's the most exciting part, I think, for me, is having that plan and seeing the person that you can be, the potential. Potential is something that people say is fixed. I don't believe that. I think the more you work on yourself, the more you level up, your skill level up, the greater your potential becomes, because you're able to see further. I mean, your potential is only really as far as you can see, as far as you can understand. And it's only then, when you understand more and you're able to see a bit further, you understand more about yourself, you understand more about life in general, that you're able to see from a slightly different perspective, a slightly wider perspective, and then you can move on in life. I think it's a great gift. Maybe potential is there, and you've got an ultimate potential that you could be. I don't know. I don't think I believe in that kind of stuff. But patience is the ability to keep your eye on the long game, to be able to see that end target and to say, well, I'm focused on that, but that's where I need to get. So although I know that we're going to have those ups and downs, we're going to have those little backwards and forwards in life, I'm going to have disappointments as well as happy moments. I'm going to have patience, because I know at the end of the day, getting to that best possible version of myself is worth it. Having the contentment in life is worth it. Being able to get to that spot where you're looking back on your life and you're happy about what you've done and what you've achieved, that's worth it. Because we're all going to get there. What do you want to be? There and regretting everything and thinking, what the fuck did I do with my life? Or there and thinking, I'm happy I made that decision. That's what I get when I look back at that first video, is I'm happy that guy made that decision to stop. And that is worth its weight in gold. Make a video of yourself when you stop, and just speak to yourself as you are then, but even better, speak to your future self and just say to yourself, this is who I used to be, and this is the person that's going to make those changes happen. So get on for the ride, you know what I mean? It's understanding that the whole journey is going to deliver you those ups and downs, as well as the sideways and the the bad times as well as the good times. And the positivity, for me, I'm thinking about positivity from the perspective of, trying to maintain an overall general level of a positive attitude, not, trying to walk around with a stupid smile on your face all the time. That's, looking at everything like there's no downsides to life. I'm talking about it looking at in general, as a general attitude that you weave through life with, that you're positive. You try to look on the positive side of things. That's the thing that is going to fuel you throughout this journey. It's going to maintain your strength and your energy. It's going to maintain that drive to move you forwards, and it's to keep that momentum going. But if you take it back to what we started out with, and that there's no leveling up with this, these are the things that in the beginning you need to develop. You need to develop the perseverance, and the only way you do that is by persevering in life. You need to develop that perspective, because sometimes you've got that alcohol brain, you've got the drinker's brain, so you're thinking all on the level of yourself as a drinker, and it's very difficult to look outside of that. I drank for 30 years of my life, so being able to look forwards and to look beyond who, to the person that I wanted to be, was very difficult, because I didn't know what that person looked like. So even if you can only see a month down the road, I'd been off the alcohol for 11 months, so I could see that far. I knew where I knew what my possibilities were from that perspective. But at the same time, there's still a bit of a cloud over it, in terms of where you were from the beginning looking forwards. So it all depends on, from that beginning, to have that reason why, to have a big enough reason why to push you forwards. And pain can be a big one at the beginning, to give yourself enough of a general kick up the arse to get moving, to move forwards. But as I said, pain ain't going to last. Pain will stop unless you've got somebody consistently behind you causing you pain. And then, you don't want that. You want to get rid of them people out of your life. But look, if you want the real impetus, the real push forwards, that real spark, then you develop that same thing. The motivation develops as you're moving forwards. Motivational bridging, we call it. You're gradually moving into that next level, into the next level, into the next level. Like I said, your perspective opens up and you can see things from a different level. Once you see things from that level, then your why changes. Once you experience things, your life, yourself, your thinking, your emotions from the perspective of not drinking anymore, then it becomes a bit easier to see further ahead, and a bit easier to to start to plan based on that and to see from that perspective. So yeah, it's like I said, if you want to see the world, if you want to see your world and your perspective, which is, you know, your reality is what you see, you know, you've got to work into it. So all right, I'm Kevin O'Hara for habitsv2.com. We help people to stop drinking alcohol and to get to that best possible version of themselves. Take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you again soon. Onwards and upwards.